Hello and welcome to the Dutchin channel. It's Saturday morning, the 20th of April 2024, and the time is 8:30, and we're going to do the selections from Air using the exchanges. So we've got some early prices, and we'll look into the first race, the 115, where 6 go to the post. I prefer that on at a glance because I can just see it quicker. Right, so yeah, that's the 115. Don't forget, we've got a bit of a change in the system I'm using, but the format is pretty much exactly the same. So we'll go into this. I've made it a bit bigger so everyone can see it more clearly. And in the first race today, we're going for a horse called Trap Lane Law from Pembroke, Persian Time, Thomas Oscar, Sam Brouet and Uncle Phil. This is the order, pretty much all the same. Just what I'm using now is the Racing Post ratings with the lengths, how far the horse has been beaten, and the difference in the weight, whether it's higher or lower. This is an old system I've used, and I'll still keep using, but because the other one was not as good as it was in March, it was pretty much holding its own, but it wasn't where I wanted it. But I could have blamed the weather for that. So let's go into this 115. Fortunately, I have to go right to the end of the page here. And what we're going to do, we're going to use the prices as we always do from Matchbook and Trap Lane Law at the moment. This is currently 6.4, so it will work exactly the same on there. So stakes of £15.63 will return us £100. Then our second selection is Pembroke, which is 6.8. For £14.71 will return us £100. And our third selection is Persian Time, which is 7.2. And I think this system I use tends to throw up more chances, let's say. Not necessarily more winners, but more chances. And our fourth selection is Tommy's Oscar, and that's currently 8.2. And we can see in the stakes here that that final selection will only be able to have £5.78. I think what I should have done really was deleted that with it, but I haven't done any of those, so it could be a bit of a long process. So they will be the 4 selections in that 115. There will be 3 there that return £100, and Tommy's Oscar will be the rest. So that was race 1. I have worked out every single race at each meeting that I'm covering today, and I'm going to cover Air, which is on ITV, Newbury, which is on ITV, and then the 2 later meetings of Nottingham and Brighton. I've got to try and cut down somewhere because of the time, so two in the day, 2 in the evening. I'm quite happy doing that. Then we got the Novices Champion Handicap Chase at 150, where 13 go to post for this race. Every horse is running as it stands. I'm sure as the day goes on that will change. So let me just delete the rest of this. Let's go back to race 1 a minute. I just want to just put that there so you know that the stakes are £50 in every race. So we've given here Ballycoos, Deeper Blue, a Buffalo Soldier, Donny Boy, Inch House. And again, you can see all the form has been worked out there. This does take time as well, I'm going to be honest, but when I took a part of yesterday off, I did go through and look at all past results and seen whether I would have profited more. Yes, I would have had better results, but maybe not by far. Let's move this across. And the first one we're going to look at on Matchbook will be Ballycooss. So we'll move into race 2 here. And there will be quite a lot of races that I don't bet in, but the first one would have been a betting race, and so will this one. And Ballycooss there just drifted out to 21. As I say, you will get some weird prices in this kind of system that I've done. Not necessarily will it bring up all these favourites, but again, after yesterday, I don't know if you saw, there was a couple of really bad odds on favourites. One won, one didn't. And this is why you've got to refrain from keep doing these. Right, Deeper Blue is my second selection. This is currently 8.4. And what I should have said, Ballycooss 21 and stakes of £4.76 will return £100. Deeper Blue 8.4, £11.90 would return £100. And then we're going to a Buffalo Soldier. That's currently on 17. And stakes of £5.88 will return £100. Now what you'll see in this that you didn't see in the other system is as you go down here, I've got 3 horses all on the same figure. Now when that happens, and I haven't changed any of that yet, but when that happens you need to look at the horse's last 3 lines of form, and you'll see that these 2 were the same, 141, these 2 were the same, 137 and 132. If the difference between those 2 is 0, then those 2 are the same, and if there's 2 between that one, that means that will be last of those 3. So hopefully we can do those 2, because I haven't seen one that comes up that close to each other. If not, it will go on to the 3rd leg, which will be special rate. So I'm thinking it's going to be special rate first, Inch House second, and Montgomery third when I get down to the betting on those 3, unless we can do all 3, of course. The next horse we want to look at is Donny Boy. Donny Boy, just lift that up a bit. And Donny Boy there is currently 18. Stakes of £5.56 would return £100. Now I'm going to do special rate first out of these ones, and that is currently on 32. So stakes of £3.13 would return £100. Then I'm going to do Inch House. Inch House, that's currently 14.5. Stakes of £6.90 would return £50. And the third one there, Montgomery, that's trading at 9.2. But before we do that one, let's just see how much we've staked. Yep, with that one, Montgomery, just got 9.2. Stakes of £10.87 would return £100. And we're, see, look, we've got 3 tied again. I should be looking at doing this before we start. But let's just go into those last 3 again. 151, that's going to be a difference of nearly 8. That's going to be a difference of around 9. And this one's a difference of 2. So it will be McLean that I do next. And let's have a look at the price of McLean. And McLean is 8.6. But the difference between that one is there's only £1 left to stake. So we'll just add these up, just make sure they come to £50. And that's that. So we've got 7 running for us in that race, plus 1 for £1, which we don't really include. But there's a nice selection of middle of the road there, where we've got Deeper Blue, that's one of the favourites, Montgomery. They're in the top half of the betting, and the others are in the second half. But of course, we see plenty of outsiders win, so I never worry about what the selections are that I've got to do. Now into the 225. This is a 15 horse race, so plenty of chances for all of these. So let's go into the betting again. We'll move into the 225. And our top selection here would be First Street. And First Street, that's currently trading at 10.5. So we'll move all this across again. I don't have any choice unless I make the font really, really tiny, and then no one sees nothing, not even me. And I need all these columns. So First Street, 10.5, £9.52 will return £100. And we're lucky, as I look down, that until you get to the bottom 2 here, nothing is level, so that's okay. Right, now I've given Petit Tonnerre as my second selection. I did fancy this one. I don't understand how they don't like it at all. That's out to 38. Stakes of £2.63 would return £100. Then we've got the top weight here, Rubold, which is currently on 21. Stakes of £4.76 there would return £100. And then I've got Westport Cove, that's here as well. That's currently trading at 32. So stakes of £3.13 would return £100. Then we've got L'Eau de Soude. And L'Eau de Soude, that's currently favourite, 4.7. That's one of the Skelton horses. And £21.28 would return £50. Then our next selection is Benson. And Benson at the moment is currently 95. So stakes of £1 and 5p would return £100. And so far we've staked 42.37. Our next horse we're going to look at is Favour and Fortune. And that's currently second favourite at 5.8. We won't get all of that on, so we'll just see what we had, which was £7.63. And that will be our last bet in that race. And let's just take out all the other ones that we don't need. We'll just add up those stakes. And there you go, you can see that's £50 there. I will go over all these again, so don't worry. But again, we've got 6 running for us there, and the other one will return around £40. Into race 4, the 3 o'clock, 11 go to post here. And again, you'll see when they've got 3 lines of form, is pretty much a race that I will bet in. Yeah, if it's got less than that, I'm a bit weary, but we'll see how we go with that. So I'm not really using the racing post at the moment. You can see that was the 225 that we just done. Now it's the 3 o'clock. There's no non-runners at present. And into the betting here. we're going to start off with a horse called Flower of Scotland, and that's currently 38. If you like your value bets and your each way bets and everything else, these horses I do fancy at the top there, so I would, and I am going to be back in that. Flower of Scotland currently at 38. My second selection is Pink in the Park. That's currently 8.8. So I'll just go back. Flower of Scotland, 38, stakes of £2.63 will return £100. I keep forgetting to do this because I haven't done it for so long. And Pink in the Park, that's 8.8, stakes of £11.36 will return £100. Then our third selection is going to be Philippa Sue. I backed this last time. They put it over the Chase and brought it back to the hurdles today. But Philippa Sue currently at 16, £6.25 would return £100. A penny 100. This is right down the bottom, but they're not in order at the moment. So this is currently 6. And stakes of £16.67 will return £100. And we've got £13.09 left to stake. And the next one we're going to look at is Check Her Out. This is 23. And stakes of £4.35 would return £100. And the next one we're going to look at is Coco Mademoiselle, which is 5.4. We're not going to get that amount on. Let's see what we've got. And we've got £8.74, which will be the maximum there. And I'll just make sure that those stakes come to £50. So we've got 5 running for us, and we've got 1 mopping up to get our money back, but it won't be quite that much. But I'll do all the figures when I've got through the 8 races. Then we're going to move into the 335. 26 go to post here. This is the Scottish Grand National. Now, because I was using the other system on the last couple of nationals, if I'd have done this one, we'd have been in clover, but we didn't, so we are where we are. And Whistle in the Dark is my top selection here, from Mr. Van Gogh, Surrey Quest, and Tommy Bow. So let's move into here, do some prices. Move along now to the 335. Let's see if they come for anything at the moment. Doesn't seem that way. Anyway, I've got my top selection there, Whistle in the Dark. No idea if I can see it. On the right races, we don't know. Oh, load more. That's why I didn't see it. Oh, here it is. 140. So I've got a big priced outside of that to win the Grand National today. Could it happen? Anyway, 140 on Whistle in the Dark. Stakes of 71p would return you £100. Don't forget, Betfair will require £1 for that. Then my second selection is Mr. Van Gogh. And Mr. Van Gogh, that's currently 13.5. And stakes of £7.41 would return £100. Then my third selection is Surrey Quest. Quite a lot to go through, a bit of a challenge this race. And that is currently 48 Surrey Quest, so stakes of £2.08 would return £100. Then we've got Tommy Bow. Tommy Bow, that's currently trading at 55. So £1.82 would return £100. Angler's Crag. And Angler's Crag, quite up the top of the market. This is 15.5. And stakes of £6.45 would return £100. Then we've got Stay Away Faye. Oh, I did back this at Cheltenham. Poor it was. But I never just take that into consideration. If I'm given a horse, I'll do it. Right, this is currently 19.5, Stay Away Faye. £5.13 returns £100. And Iron Bridge, this was another one, poor run last time. And Iron Bridge... There'll be another one that's going to take me ages to find. No, there it is. Right, that's currently trading at 34. Stakes of £2.94 would return £100. And the next one is Autonomous Cloud. And Autonomous Cloud, that is 25. Stakes of £4 will return £100. And we've only staked £30 so far, £30.54, so plenty of more to go through if they're going to be reasonable prices. Clark Kent, I think this is one of Willie Mullins' horses. And Clark Kent, that's currently 75. So stakes of £1.33 would return £100. Then we've got My Silver Lining, which is 19.5. So stakes of £5.13 would return £100. Then we've got Ballygriffin Cottage, which is 18. And stakes of £5.56 would return us £100. Now we have to watch these next two, because they're on the same. And we've laid out £42.56. So I think I'm just going to have to double check these two. And we've got a 151, closest to that is 144, so the difference is 7. If this one's closer than 7, it will be our next selection. 137, 120, and that difference is 17. So it will be in the order I've got them. So we'll go for Elvis Mail next. And Elvis Mail is currently 42. So stakes of £2.38 would return us £100. And now that's going to leave us £5.06. And Inish Eeyore, Inis Oil, something like that. And let's see what price this one is. Try down the bottom first. Well, the second favourite at 11. So good job I've done them in that right order. We'll just go to the top again. We'll see how much we had left. £5.06, and that will be the stake on Inisor. But remember, when you times them together, there will be the money back on those £55. And we have quite a few running for us out of the 26 runners. On top of that, we have 12 horses. So that's the Scottish National done. Then we're going to go into race 6. This is another race where I would have a bet because of the whole lot of the form that's filled every horse there. And there has been a lot of runners there over the last couple of days. But it's not been a bad meeting. So we're going now into the 410. Just if you do fancy anything in that Scottish National, Gitmaker 6 to 1, that value at 26 runners. I don't think so. And then we go into the 410 here. They all go 10 runners. This is a handicap hurdle. And our top selection is going to be Chosen Witness. This is currently 11.5. So stakes of £8.70 will return £100. And our second selection there, which is doubled up with the one underneath, same, but I should imagine we'll be at the back these next two, hopefully. I Love My Bay is 14.5. And stakes there of £6.90 would return £100. And our third selection is Major Fortune, and that's currently 8.6. So stakes of £11.63 would return £100. And Domore Bay, that is 10.5. And stakes of £9.52 would return us £100. We'll just see what we've laid out so far. £36.74. Masaccio is the next one. This is 6.2. This may be the last one. We'll just quickly look. So we've got £13.26 left in the kitty. And that will be our maximum stake on Masaccio. We'll just add those up at the bottom. And that will be £50. So we've got 4 running for us there. And the other one that looks like it will return a good amount of money. Now this race, I don't know whether I will bet in it. There isn't enough form for me to go on. I do like all 3 lines, but obviously closer to the race because at least there is form on all the horses. So the 4:45 at hour is a novice's hurdle. And as you can see there, when you look at this Billericay Dickey, it's only got 1 line of form, Willie Mullins, Patrick Mullins combo. So we'll go into Matchbook and into the 4:45. And this is where we had an on-runner, yeah, Dripsy Moon. I have taken this out already. And that leaves 7 runners. So Key de Bourbon, 1.82, and already it tells me that I'm not going to be betting in this race because we're already starting with an odds-on favourite. But don't let me stop you from doing that, of course, if that's one of the horses you like today. I mean, I've only got that 5 points clear from 203, but that 5 points equates to lengths. So it's not anywhere near a certainty to win by 5 lengths. So it's not something I would just say I'm just going to lump on that one today. But it is my top selection. Then here we go in the last. This is most probably, looking at it, one of those National Hunt flat races that I loathe. And we have got 4 horses in this race that haven't seen a racetrack before. So this isn't a race for me, but I know a lot of you might be looking to put doubles, trebles, accumulators on. And I've got this horse 14.88 lengths clear. So I would rather be back in this one than the one in the last race. But of course, you have got to worry about 4 horses here that have never run. So let's just have a look at what the betting would be in that last. And it is favourite, and it's 2.5. So 2.5, £40 would return £100. and Thistle will be the one that's currently at 14, £7.14, would return £100. And the third selection, Histronic, that's showing at 7.4. But don't forget, you've got 4 horses down here that you know absolute nothing about, and that's Caliphate and Vol, and that one is 7.8, so already that's dodgy. And Jazz de Cotte, that is 8, that's another dodgy one. Joni R, 34, and the Dipper, 21. So it wouldn't be a race for me. So I will take the prices out of here as we go through it and have a recap. But it wouldn't be a betting race. So back to the first race. We've got the 115, Trap Rain Law, Pembroke, and Persian Time. One of those 3 will return £100. And Tommy's Oscar, I might as well use the calculator back to front here. So 8.2 times 5.78. That will return £47.39. So that one will sort of get your money back. It's not the end of the world that when you're covering 4 out of 6. Then in this second race, the 150, we've got Ballycoos, Deeper Blue, A Buffalo Soldier, Donny Boy, Inch House, Special Rate, and Montgomery. One of those 7 would return £100, and McLean would return £8.60. Then into the third race, which is the 225, we've gone for First Street, Petit Tonnerre, Rubord, Westport Cove, L'Eau de Sud, and Benson. One of those 6 will return £100, and Favour and Fortune will return £44.25. So not far off the money back, and you've got 6 running for you on top of that. Then into the 3 o'clock, we've got Flower of Scotland, Pink in the Park, Philippa Sue, A Penny 100, Check Her Out. One of those 5 would return £100. And then we've got Coco Mademoiselle, £5.40 stake, times £8.74. And that would return us £47.19. So not far short of the money back, and still got 5 running for us. Then into race 5, which is the Scottish Grand National. We've got quite a few here. One thing I didn't do was get rid of all those and add the stakes up just to make sure that was right. Yeah, that's 50. Now we'll go into our selections here. Whistle in the Dark, Mr. Van Gogh, Surrey Quest, Tommy Bow, Angler's Crag, Stay Away Faye, Iron Bridge, Autumnus Cloud, Clark Kent, My Silver Lining, Ballygriffin Cottage, and Elvis Mail. One of those 11, was it? 3, 6, 9, no, one of those 12. Yeah, one of those 12 will return us £100, and Inisor at the bottom would return, if I put the right number in, that will return £55.55p, so there will be a slight profit, but we're more interested in getting the money back on that bottom one. So that's covered. Then into race 6, this would be another betting race. I've gone for Chosen Witness, I Love My Bay, Major Fortune, and Domore Bay. One of those 4 would return £100, and Masakio 6.2 times £13.26 would return £82, £82.21, so that would still be worth doing, and that gives us a sort of half of the field there. Then in race 7, this isn't going to be a betting race for me, but if you want anything here, the top selection is Key de Bourbon from 203, but there's no value in that whatsoever. And then in that final race, which I'm just going to take these prices down, because there's 4 that haven't run before, this will be a non-betting race for me. But if you fancy this favourite, I've got it 14 lengths clear, nearly 15 lengths clear. But of course, as I always say, we know nothing about these 4 at the bottom that have not run before. So these last 2 races will be no betting races for me. So let's hope you can come up with that Scottish National winner. If you've got any fancies in that from now, just send them in so we can get them in advance. And if not, happy punting this afternoon. And my next video will be Newbury